If you were to compare men and masculinity from 50, 100, or even 500 years ago with what we see today, you'd find stark differences. Back then, masculinity was something sacred, passed down from father to son, generation after generation. It wasn't just about physical strength or dominance. It was about embodying the skills, wisdom, and vision that defined manhood. Fathers were the living examples their sons looked up to. They didn't need to preach values because their lives showed what it meant to be a warrior, a hunter, a protector, and above all, a decent man. Fathers were mentors, guiding their sons on how to face the world with honor, courage, and purpose. Today, many young men lack this critical foundation. Without strong role models, they're left to navigate life's challenges without the wisdom and discipline that were once passed down like a torch. This erosion of masculinity has left many young men lost, searching for direction in a world that no longer teaches what it means to be a true man. Many young men today face significant challenges in various areas of their lives, including education, social connections, spiritual development, finances, and sexuality. These men, often in their 20s and even 30s, choose to live with their parents, preferring the familiar comfort of their childhood homes over the uncertainties of independence. Instead of striving to create something of their own, many retreat into the safe virtual world of the internet, pornography, and video games. These adult boys drift through life, lacking a clear path or purpose, seeking only short-term pleasures to numb their discomfort and avoid the harsh realities of adulthood. The scale of this problem is vast, and it's no exaggeration to say that the eternal boy syndrome has become one of the most significant challenges facing modern men today. This issue, if left unchecked, threatens to undermine the very essence of manhood. So, let's dive deeper into this issue. But first, if you want to progress, show your support by hitting like and subscribe button. If you have any questions, drop them in comments, and let's talk. One of the key factors contributing to the eternal boy syndrome is the development of a strong maternal complex. Throughout human evolutionary history, mothers and fathers have traditionally played different roles in parenting. Mothers have always spent more time with their children than fathers, engaging in more frequent physical contact, providing emotional support, and tending to the child's needs. This intimate relationship with the mother creates a deep emotional bond that lingers well into adulthood, which psychologists call the maternal complex. While this connection is natural in childhood, it must be balanced by a movement away from the mother and towards independence as the boy matures. We all come into the world deeply connected to our mothers, but there must be a conscious and voluntary shift towards something unfamiliar and even dangerous, towards the father. Fathers typically don't have the same deep emotional connection with their children as mothers. Instead, the father's traditional role has been to provide resources, protection, and, most importantly, guidance. A strong father figure offers more than material support. He provides a blueprint for living as an independent and functional adult. Without this guidance, a young man remains tethered to childhood comforts, unable to grow. Historically, many cultures marked the transition from adolescence to adulthood with initiation rites. These rites, often intense and sometimes brutal, served one primary purpose: to sever the boy's dependence on his mother, first physically and then psychologically. These rituals were conducted solely by the elder men of the tribe, who played the role of cultural fathers. Women were typically prohibited from witnessing or participating in these ceremonies, reinforcing the importance of separating the boy from the maternal figure. A typical initiation rite might involve elders, disguised as gods or demons, snatching the boy from his bed in the dead of night. This would be the last time the boy saw his mother for months. He was then taken to a deep cave, buried alive, or placed in some other literal or symbolic darkness, representing the death of childhood and the carefree joys of irresponsibility. This brutal severance sent a clear message: there was no return to the comforts of home. The boy's childhood had ended, and from this point forward, he would need to grow up. Following the symbolic death of childhood, the youth would be reborn into a more mature state. Tribal elders would then teach him the wisdom and survival skills needed to navigate the complexities of life. Afterward, the boy would be sent into the wilderness to fend for himself, spending months alone, learning how to survive. Upon his successful return, he would be welcomed back into the tribe as an adult, no longer a child dependent on his mother. From that point onward, he was expected to have overcome his maternal complex. Immaturity and dependency were no longer tolerated. If you're interested in learning more about initiation rites and the transition from boyhood to manhood, I highly recommend reading Rites and Symbols of Initiation by Mircea Eliade. I'll leave a link to this book in the description. The intensity and sometimes harsh nature of these initiation processes suggests that our ancestors understood the monumental task of separating a boy from his mother. It required carefully planned measures and a deep understanding of human psychology. Yet today, in much of the modern world, there are no equivalent rites of passage. Without cultural fathers and initiation rites, modern boys must rely on their own fathers to guide them into adulthood. Unfortunately, not all fathers are capable of providing such guidance, as they themselves may lack the psychological maturity or emotional presence required for this critical role. This absence leaves young men wandering aimlessly, unable to chart their own course in life. A father must be a strong, mature, and emotionally present figure in his child's life, able to show through his own actions that there is something in this world worth striving for and fighting for. He must provide a living example of the rewards of effort, sacrifice, and perseverance. To effectively pull a young man away from the comforts of childhood, he needs to believe that there is something better awaiting him. A boy needs to see his father in the world around him. He needs a role model who embodies the values and discipline required to thrive. Yet today, a vast number of teenage boys have little to no positive connection with or admiration for their fathers. In many cases, fathers are either physically absent or emotionally distant. We live in an era of absent fathers, and so many young men suffer because of it. Young men are expected to leave the comfort of their homes, overcome their maternal complex, and begin building a life of their own, all without the psychological support that a father provides. Is it any wonder then that the eternal boy syndrome is so prevalent today? The absence of fathers not only affects young men, but also has a profound impact on mothers. Without a strong father figure, mothers often take on more authoritative and dominant roles in parenting to compensate. Moreover, when a father fails to provide love and support to the mother, she may experience an emotional void, which she unconsciously tries to fill through her relationship with her child. This dynamic often leads to unhealthy levels of maternal overprotection and involvement. The mother, despite her best intentions, may unconsciously manipulate her child, keeping him dependent on her well into adulthood. And all too often, the boy willingly complies, for he knows no other way to live. He is, after all, a product of his environment. When a boy grows up in such an environment, without a father figure to emulate, what happens? The separation from the mother never occurs. The boy continues to think and feel as his mother taught him. He may grow a beard, his voice may deepen, and his muscles may develop, but his mind will remain that of a child, shaped by his mother's influence, because he never had the opportunity to witness and internalize the father's model of behavior. He becomes a man only in appearance, not in spirit. A child raised in this way, without the chance to walk his own path, stand up for himself, fail, and learn from his mistakes, will become an adult who is incapable of facing and overcoming life's inevitable challenges. The healthy desire to adapt to reality and develop one's individuality, which involves facing fears, pain, and conflicts, will be replaced by a need to remain attached to the mother. This attachment can manifest in a man's relationships with other women, as he subconsciously seeks out maternal figures in them. Such a man will go to great lengths to avoid discomfort and tough decisions. He will struggle to assert his independence and navigate the complexities of adult life. The good news is that regardless of your upbringing, regardless of how deep the maternal complex may be ingrained, you can break free. You have the power to take control of your life and become the man you are meant to be. It starts with self-awareness, recognizing where you are and where you need to go. The path ahead won't be easy, but that's precisely what will make it worthwhile. You must seek out challenges, embrace discomfort, and push yourself beyond your perceived limits. Surround yourself with strong, mature men who will guide you and hold you accountable. Learn from their experiences, draw strength from their wisdom, and model the best of their qualities. The world needs strong men who are capable, resilient, and determined. You can be one of them. Stand tall, face your fears, and take that first step toward becoming the man you were always meant to be. The future is yours for the taking. Will you claim it? Subscribe and share your journey with us. Until next time.